starting out being a club scout, which I was with the Cardinals, you get information from the combines. Each club, uh, most clubs belong to either National or Blesto, and they go out in the spring and get a list of all the uprising seniors from colleges and universities throughout the country. And that's what your list is. Your school visits are based on once you formulate a number that you want to target of their grading system. And then you just take off. And I started out as an area scout. My first year, I was responsible for the Eastern Seaboard. I went from Maine to Florida, inland to West Virginia, covering the schools for the Cardinals. Again, the given number, they rate players from, say, 10 through 100. You have to know the key of their grading system. But anyway, starting off as just a regional area scout, we went with guys that were rated 49 or above. 49 would take me into a school, whereas it could be a small school. But 49, that means the National Combine has identified a player at that school. So I would go in there, let's say if it's a running back, and you go in there, and it's my responsibility to determine, is he a guy that could help improve our team by going in there. So I'd go in there on any day of the week and get the videos or tapes back in that time of this guy's performance of games that he's played. And you'd look at 3 or 4 tapes and determine, does he have the quickness for the position? I like to use the term, does he have the position presence, meaning which takes in the quickness, agility, and balance, run skills, awareness, hands, all that it takes to play that particular position, say the running back position. And then if I come out of there and he has it, then I'll put our club grade on him for saying that this guy's draftable in this round, or he's not draftable, one of the two. But it's not a complicated deal, but it's all based on a grading system that each club has that they send their scouts out with to measure a player with. Talking about game-wise, okay, most of your games are played on a Saturday. So the fortunate part I had when I first started, I was told that I would move to North Carolina, and I did, and we lived in the Raleigh-Durham area. And I was fortunate in the sense that you had several schools there. You had North Carolina in driver's distance of my house. You had NC State, you had Duke, you had East Carolina, you had Wake Forest, you had North Carolina Central, you had North Carolina A&T, you had Winston-Salem. So sometimes I would do a double hitter. I would do, say it's a 12 o'clock start there in Raleigh with NC State. I'd see maybe 3/4 of the game, and then it's an evening game over in Chapel Hill. I would get over there and see North Carolina playing somebody in the evening. Or if it was a school that came in between, I could go into Durham and see one of my HBC schools, North Carolina Central, playing somebody. So some days, I was told, well, you've been too exuberant as a scout trying to hit 3 games. But living in that Research Triangle Park, I was able to almost get that done on sometimes during the course of the season on a weekly basis. But basically, you try and get a game in or during the course of the week, and you go there and you watch them in pregame, and then you watch the game and you home in on the guys that you are to watch on each team. A lot of times you have players on both teams, and there's offense, defense, and you can just get a feel. But where your most time gonna be spent when you get back and sit and look at that video on them and see, did you really see what you thought you saw, or you might have missed something during the course of a game. You see it on that video, on that coaching tape. For sure, I've done that quite many times, and that's the beauty of going to a game, in the sense that somebody jump out at you that you didn't even know about. The coaches you might have gone to that school earlier, and the guy might have been listed on your what we call the Bible list, and he was rated real low or was a reject. And then all of a sudden you say, you know, here's a guy you want to do some follow up on. No, that's in part done with the PR of the different colleges and the universities. Some want that publicity, some don't. Then again, you get an announcer that's kind of zealous, that's in the press box, and he looking around. He goes in there beforehand, and he looks and see that there's a space reserved for Atlanta Falcons scout, space reserved for the Miami Dolphins scout, and then he jump out there, and that tickles the crowd's ear, or tickle the audience ear via television or radio. Well, you have your friends on the road that you talk with, that you communicate with about players, but basically it's a personal thing. It's your reputation that's on the line, your club information. So you don't jump up and say, hey, I know about this guy over there or this guy over here. I wrote this about that guy, that guy. No, that's club information. So you kind of keep it to yourself.